Lawton here. It is 10:30 at night on December 11th. I hope you guys are doing great out there. Things are going beautiful in the world. Let's jump right into the charts. Litecoin, you guys. I've been doing a lot of research and time on this and what's going on right now. I mean, we do have 234 days left before the halving, and it's coming up pretty fast. So I do think that this is playing a part in what we're seeing on the movement right now. Litecoin is definitely something that reacts to halving events, just like Bitcoin. When we start cutting off the supply of miners, then the price has nowhere to go but up. If the demand stays the same, obviously. We do have a lot of altcoins nowadays in general. So, people could ask why the stock to flow of Bitcoin is not really following the traditional, is the stock to flow dead? I think that the stock to flow is still alive. I think that other coins coming into existence are kind of stealing Bitcoin's thunder right now. We do need to pay attention to Bitcoin, obviously, first. What's good for Bitcoin is good for the rest of the space. So I do believe that, we're all just kind of playing, we're riding on the coattails of Bitcoin. In a lot of ways, it is the beachfront property out there, you guys. So owning a little piece of that right now is something that you're going to look back and you're going to really wish that you did. So we are moving towards a future of cryptocurrency, you guys, no matter who wants to tell you otherwise. So, is gold and silver going to play a role? Obviously, I think that's going to happen. They are going to play a role, but probably less as a exchange currency and more of just like a position of the storage of wealth. It's a transactional currency. They need it. We need a transactional currency to meet the times. Bitcoin, Litecoin, ETH, SHIB, these are all transactional currencies. They are, SHIB is a layer 2 of ETH, which basically is a Cadillac now of programmable money. Thank you, Vitalik out there. Ironically enough, Vitalik really likes SHIB too, you guys. So my personal belief right now is that Musk is Ryoshi and Vitalik helped him set up the whole situation with SHIB. So that'll come out later that, Musk's true baby is the Shibu. He obviously loves Dogecoin, but I think that, he tried to create, there's a lot of things that he came out vocally and discussed about Doge that he didn't necessarily like. One being that a majority of the Dogecoin holders, the big whales, the top like 10 wallets own like 70% of the supply. So he didn't really necessarily like that. And he also really, when you have programmable money, like in an ETH network, and now that ETH 2.0 is actually successful, I think that, Shiba is looking poised, being kind of, this competition to Matic, which is like a layer 2 blockchain, you guys, for ETH. So it lets us get on a highway that's running parallel, that's not congested, and we can have really cheap transactions and really cheap if you want to send NFTs or whatever you want to build on the Shibu network. It's going to be the metaverse and all their other games too. So I really like the development team here. I think that Ryoshi started this thing with a kind of a pure heart and kind of a jealous, envy of Satoshi. So I think that, he's trying to, obviously and Musk has actually been very you can kind of hear the jealousy in his voice, at least I can, when he talks about Satoshi. So him trying to be Ryoshi, it's a pretty natural fit as far as the time frame and the first blogs and stuff and all the time frame. I'll go into that later in another video. But let's look at Litecoin, you guys. Let's look at Litecoin, okay? So I plotted in the halving events here. So this is the second halving. This is the estimated third halving. You can kind of see that even the first halving, for some reason I don't have it on this chart, trade view. Litecoin's history does go back a little bit earlier here. So I did I did want to incorporate that, but so that this is the second halving, third halving. And what I think is going to happen, you guys, we're going to have this run up, and we're going to come like basically not come all the way back down. I think this big triangle is going to kind of hold. So I think we're going to retest this 88. This basically where we're at right now. I would say that we're probably going to come retest this. So if you get in now, get out at this level right here, around this, it's 205, 210 level. And I'll show you why. I was running these fib retracements right here. And I'll show you guys this, that the interesting thing with charting is that it actually kind of comes in contact with natural law. And it's really interesting. It's because human beings and emotions are dictating markets, right? It's not manipulation, because if you want to consider all markets manipulated, right? So people buy, people sell, some people are whales, some people are not. So you affect the market differently, right? So is that manipulation? No, it's just people taking profits, people trading, people speculating on markets. I don't really think with the derivative market, there is some control there, because obviously anybody that loves gold and silver, platinum, we know that the market, there's 250 ounces of silver for every 1 ounce of actual physical metal, right? So they've controlled it, and they can sell the paper all day long and shoot the price down that's held on the COMEX, right? So we know that manipulation's starting to come to an end. I hope you guys understand that with silver. With cryptos, it's kind of the same thing. They haven't got their hooks into some of these, Litecoin and Bitcoin quite yet. They're trying to form regulation, but it's censorship resistant. It's made to withhold the middleman. So I hope you guys are along for the ride. If you're bullish on cryptos, you're not nearly bullish enough, and I do believe that. So what are we looking at here in the short term? This is the last peak, or not the last peak, but the second to last peak, right? So this is the 2018 like blow off top here. And I basically take from the bottom to the top, and I get this 0.618 fib retracement. So we basically came up and hit the golden ratio, you guys, right before this halving anyway. Bought the rumor, sell the news. It's kind of the way that it works, right, in crypto, which is really weird. It's kind of strange to me. So here's the same thing here, and going up to the last top here. Okay, so basically I'm having it, come up here. This is kind of, I always try to predict what's going to happen here. I do think that, Litecoin really benefits from Bitcoin, the true pumpage. So I kind of see a situation like this playing out where, over the next, I would say probably, mid-August, I would say, next year, we are probably going to have a pretty big rip here. From where we're at right now, it's still like 100, and if you actually catch the top here, 150%, 158%. So you guys want to play this top, I would actually recommend kind of swing trading a little bit of Litecoin. Do I think it's going to break this level? If it really does, it's possible, but I don't think, depending on what happens macro levels, you guys, I think that, it's going to follow Bitcoin here. So I think that Bitcoin is going to be the thing that really sets us up. And, you guys got to zoom out here, and I would definitely suggest that zooming out right now, the levels that we're at on Bitcoin are, pretty low. I'll go zoom out to the the monthly here. We're still really low, you guys. Like on a monthly level, like this is like the lowest that we've been on the RSI for forever. So, zoom out, you guys. Even on the weekly, we're still in this oversold zone, you guys. So this has traditionally been the best time to accumulate Bitcoin. You know, if it goes to 14,000, okay, $2,000 less than where we are right now, and then rips up to 120,000, does it matter if you bought now at 17,000 or 14,000? Are you guys going to let your egos care if you're going to catch the cream? Are you still making, you know, hundreds, you know, 1,000%, you know, 1,100% gains right there? So anybody's going to tell you you're a genius if you make that trade right now, but you got to have the cojones. This is not financial advice. You got to have the cojones to get in when everything's red. When, you know, there's things that are happening, you know, globally speaking, that, you know, we are going into a recession, you guys. The inverted yield curve is the highest it's ever been. It's really nasty. I'll go into that maybe next video, but you guys haven't heard about that, then, you know, it's basically 100% indicator throughout history that we are going into a recession. And you could always argue that, I mean, I think that we're in a recession now. I think the last, you know, year has been basically a recession. But I think it's going to get kind of worse, you guys. I think that we're going to get a little worse here, and it could be a lot worse depending on what happens here. The Dixie, I'm looking at the dollar right now. We are breaking out of this wedge. So dollar goes down, Bitcoin goes up, silver goes up, gold goes up. Do I want the dollar to go to zero? No, I'm an American. I don't want the dollar to fail, right? But I want the dollar to kind of chill out. I'd like to, you know, just slow decline, right? And we all know that the purchasing power of fiat money eventually like goes to zero. It's just like the way that all fiat has gone. So can the dollar turn this corner? Can we go to a digital currency? Can we not become communist China in the first place? Can we back our dollar with Litecoin or Bitcoin? I think that that's a serious possibility that we need to start considering, and do a partial back with, you know, maybe it's going to be hard to do it with monetary metals, you guys. I mean, how do you know, you know, even if China or Russia backs their money with gold, how do we know they got the gold? Like, is there an auditor? Do we go test their gold? How do we know they don't got lead in the middle of those gold bars, right? It's not as fluid. How do you, even if you want to exchange them, it's like way harder to ship gold than it is to ship Litecoin, right? So why would you want to do that? Like, it doesn't really make sense as far as a monetary metal. You know, if they're going to demand that we pay for oil and gold, or instead of US dollars from, you know, China or Russia, are they going to, you know, be shipping? It's going to, you know, are they going to calculate the price of the shipping on that? So, I mean, maybe it's easier than I make it, but it seems like a big, huge pain in the ass compared to, you know, clicking a few buttons and having the blockchain, you know, take control over this thing. And it costs fractions of even a current cent right now to send Litecoin, right? So, you know, is this the money of the future? This money is not the money of the future, you guys. Doesn't, you know, regular currency in its form right now is not a great system. And, you know, for the fractional reserve banking is ugly, you guys. It's ugly. I think that the price target of the Dixie, I mean, the price target here is definitely down over here. So if we don't see a recovery in the dollar, you know, if it doesn't do something like this, and if we actually come down and meet this price target down here, I'll turn on the 200 EMA here. Where is the 200 on this thing? On the weekly. We'll go to the weekly because the dollar is kind of this slow moving situation here. I've got the death cat drawn just because if, you know, death cat plays out, this is this is going to be basically where we make all of our money, you guys. If it's when the dollar hits this peaking point. Are we in it right now? Have we peaked out? It's, you know, it looks temporarily that we have peaked out. So, you know, that'll be good for all of the other asset classes, you guys. And I hope that is the case here. You know, but the 200 EMA is right here coming up. So on the weekly, could we come in down and retest this? I don't think we're going to drop below this. So I would say that this thing's probably going to come up here, this is probably worst case scenario for the dollar. If it does break this, then we're going to be, you'll be rich holding gold, silver, Bitcoin, anything that's not the dollar at that point, will be pumping. But recovery here, even if it comes down here, like temporary, this might be a temporary relief bounce. But if it actually starts doing that, you guys, that's going to be like the Great Depression situation right there. Cause we haven't even got to the levels that, we haven't been doing very well in the stock market in general right now. I'm not going to go in the stock market. I really don't. I'll go into that in another video if you guys really want me to go into that. I just want to do a quick one, you guys, on Bitcoin, Litecoin, what I think the overall sentiment right now. Could we go lower? Sure, we could go lower. We could. Oh, that's always a case right now. But I think temporarily, I think we're going to have a Litecoin, at least, a little rally here, possibly even up to like around that $200 mark, before rolling back over. So look for that. This thing's based on math. So we're programmed right now to pump here, for Litecoin. It's just kind of based on the patterns that we have seen in the past. If the government or somebody is accumulating this thing, front running it, because they know that this is going to be the thing of the future, then all bets are off, you guys. All bets are off, because there's so much money out in the world, more than $260 trillion or something out there in the world. I heard numbers that it was close to like 400 trillion. So $400 trillion. We're not even at $1 trillion market cap in all of crypto. And so when that money starts getting scared and derivatives market starts getting scared, then they're going to look for solid assets that we can trade reliably without middlemen. So gold, silver, cryptos. That's why I try to, keep a good balanced portfolio, you guys. Am I suggesting going 100% into this? No. But I think at this point in time, if you're not at least have 2% of your portfolio into cryptos, then I think you're crazy, and have at least 2% in gold and silver, then that's 4% of your portfolio in a decentralized, something that you can control with under your, and even then, like, I would recommend more, but I mean, that's just what a responsible, person is. The younger you are, the more risk I would take. And then people don't train, people never told me that. I wish people had told me that when I was young. I was like, take risk now because you can make it up later. When you're 80 years old, you can talk about I bonds, okay? but right now, I bonds, I feel like, are even sketchy. It's just backed by you're losing, 10% a year right now if you talk about true inflation, so I think we're in term, for a short little rally here for Litecoin. A lot of the technicals right now are showing, on the daily, we have 8 buy, it's kind of neutral. 4 hour, we're 14 sell, 12 sell. On the weekly, we got it's looking neutral. So all the indicators right now are kind of showing neutral on Litecoin, as far as what trading view has. But if you guys haven't seen my channel, come check out my channel. I want to encourage you guys. We have 234 days left in before the halving. This is my channel. I didn't have it up for some reason, but come check it out. You guys want to look up any news or look up any cryptos, you can follow it here. I like to keep everything in this is how I like it. So I would figure like this is how you guys would like it. So come, be part of the family, the crypto family. We are not people that are Litecoin lovers, or we love a lot of different cryptos, and so I am impartial here. So I would say You know, good luck with your investments right now. Not financial advice. And thank you, wifey. Have a great night, you guys. Peace.